all of these. Just
Hi, folks, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. We're in the after show at the moment, and still a couple of us here. And okay, sounds good. I hope we have a good bit of fun. If anybody would like in on the discussion, please drop me a Twitter DM at Lavender Lady Zero on Twitter, and we can accommodate you. How's that sound? And okay, Tria, what you got? What you got? At the end of the line here.
hmm?
Morning.
I,
Oh, what you got at the end of the line
I'm
here?
still a little bit loopy from last night. Last
Oh,
night,
we,
no.
we did go for a while, didn't we? But I'm liking this because the discussions are all manner of fun. They really, 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 really are.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna be grateful for things later on that don't require concentration or actually being on top of things.
well, the other thing I can do is I'll have to start the other machine. But the other thing I can do is if you want, you can drop me an email, um, lavenderlady at fnordnet.net. Let me get this over here. Oh, my. There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you
I-
want to drop something in there, that's great. I could even start the mailer and everything because I have mailers on both machines now. Isn't that great? And there we are. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Yay. And, okay then. Who's the one breathing so heavily? I think that's Jen. Jen, are you awake?
Yeah, no, I fell asleep. I'm not here anymore.
Okay.
No, I'm tweeting this out the after show.
yeah, yeah. Diana needs more people in because I'm about to drop out. So
Okay then.
I'm gonna give you about 10 minutes, um, and then probably drop out, make coffee, and then go over to Russ's thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I really didn't want to step on anybody's toes. If I'm stepping on Russ's, I don't know. But, well, we'll see how it goes. Sometimes my after shows run 6 hours, sometimes they run 6 minutes.
You can't keep conflicting with people. Like there's so much going on that you're going to conflict with somebody at some point. Like
That's
last night, my stream was running over two or three other friends' streams. You just shrug our shoulders and go, oh well.
that's the amazing thing over the last year or so, since I've come onto the YouTube scene, if you want to call it that. I started my channel in earnest in February or March of 2018. I'd had a couple videos out in late 2017, but in that time between, say, 2 Februarys ago and, say, even this past February, there have been a great number of people who have started up channels. And it's a wonderful thing that that's been happening, although it's more likely that one will step on another. So,
Hmm.
one of the things I guess we're going to need to do is. Oh, Orla, would you like to come on? That's fine. We can do this. Um, Let me have a second here. And in case nobody knew, I only discovered about a year ago that I could whistle like that. It's still a novelty to me. So I'm bothering everybody with that. I know that Faye gives me a hard time. It's, I'm wearing headphones. No! Sorry, honey, but okay, looks like Doc is looking to get in. Let's see if we can find you, Orla, on my little list here. Oh my, oh my, oh my. There we are. We found it. You. Oh man. Okay, we're gonna paste. That's looking good. So if we can get a couple of those people in here, that'll be some people to talk about things and stuff. And I'm hearing somebody knocking at the door. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. Hey, Doc, sweetie, hi.
Hello, hello.
Hello, 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 hello. Oh,
What's all this then?
I say. I'm trying to remember where that comes from. There was a whole song and dance thing going on with that. And don't mind me while I get my coffee. And yeah, of course, I emptied the coffee maker on this last mug of coffee. So the horrible thing is when I finish with this, I may actually have to drink water.
Oh no.
No. No, the water around here is horrible. It's very hard, and it tastes terrible.
Yep, ours is too.
Oh yeah.
Unless you got good water filters.
Yeah, that's not the fun stuff. Let me tell you, it's. I would have to get one of those pitchers, because there's really no way that I could modify the tap. I mean, I'm renting here. And
You can't use there's a version that screws right onto the faucet.
I have one of those, a Pure. It works great.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
There's,
I might have to look into
the-
that then.
The filters, whether you go with the pitcher or the faucet thing, get a little costly. But I found a filter that I use that's not Pure brand, that is way under half the price of the Pure version, and they work just fine.
Okay, I thought I heard somebody knocking on the door, but I don't see anyone. So we'll see what happens. Cause yeah, Orla, I dropped you a link. See what we've got going over here.
Is Santi asking me if I'm really a doctor?
It looks like it.
The answer is no. I am most certainly not a doctor. I only got as far as an AA degree.
But he'll
Okay.
play with one any chance he gets.
Well, it's just like I tell people. I'm not an actor, but I play one on television.
There you go, yeah. I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
Oh my! You know what I can do? Oh no! Wait a minute. No, you've got the other thing going. Okay, so I'm not gonna have to worry about that. Oh, hi Maya. I didn't see you there. Oh my! Oh my! This is actually doing fairly well. I got 11 people looking here. I am so. God, I want to thank all of you guys, everybody. You know, you were on the panel here. You guys in the side shot. My numbers are swelling lately, and it's a very validating thing.
Nice.
I'm happy about that, and thank you.
I'm extremely happy too as a patron. I love to see your channel grow.
Oh my! What's really nice about what's happening here? I think I like the way it's going on my channel better than the way I've seen other people go. We've had people go from 0 to hero in a very short period. Surus, his channel exploded. And it's a great thing that it did with him. And I don't know
Yo.
about now, but back when he was doing the GI thing, the Godless Iowan thing, that channel exploded. The thing that worries me about that is you've got to keep the stuff coming. And so soon this thing takes off. You're not. You don't have the experience yet to know what the audience is looking for. You're not really experienced in how to do this sort of thing. You're still wet behind the ears. and
Mm-hmm.
there's that chance that you're going to fall right on your face. I've been growing slowly, whereas Cirrus has what, over 10,000, I think. He's maybe about, is it 20,000 that he's got right now or something like that? Whereas I've got
I haven't
400.
I haven't looked at it in forever,
But that
but
slow
I've been a
growth,
sub for a long time.
yeah, I'm having that period to ease myself in, and I'm not panicking quite as much. Don't get don't get me wrong, I still panic.
Yep.
Every Monday, I'm thinking, or not even every Monday, every Sunday evening, I'm, oh God, what am I going to do for the next show?
Well, Diane, like I told you before, sex sells.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And I don't want to be a one-trick pony, but if these folks want to see that stuff, I'm, okay, I'll do it. Only too happy. Um,
Well, an awareness of the situation is key, getting education out there and, hopefully some factual information. That's a very important thing, so you
um,
can talk about it forever.
I don't think that I will anytime soon have a show where I demonstrate my sex toys or anything like that. So don't get your hopes up.
See,
And
now I was just thinking that would be a good show topic.
it would
Not
be
not yours
really,
personally.
yeah. What's out there and everything else like that, and the various things that you can use as sex toys that you never thought could be used as sex toys. Oh my, who do we have? I hear some.
Please don't say cheese
Oh,
grater.
Orla! Hi, sweetie. How you doing?
Hola, Orla.
I.
Hello.
There you are. There you are. Great to have you here. Yay! I'm easy to please. What can I tell you? Oh man, I love that icon of yours. For those who had trouble, I had trouble with it when I first saw it. I couldn't make out what was going on. But yeah, you've got that. Now, is that supposed to be sort of like a Joker face, or what is that?
It's a zombie clown, isn't it?
Well, the on my account, I roleplay a demon in a human flesh suit. So this is the appearance of that. I had the
Ah,
picture commissioned.
okay
Ah,
then. Pretty, I will say, in a very very interesting sense.
It scares the hell out of me.
But still,
Good
yeah,
idea.
it's you're exposed to new stuff every day. I love it. Um, and I'm so happy to have you here and to have you as one of the people who actually consider me worth watching and listening to. I'm still not accustomed to it. It's almost 2 years that I've been on camera, and I still can't get accustomed to the idea that there are actually people who voluntarily come here on Sundays and actually, okay, what are you doing this week, Diana? It's like, holy shit. Oh
Orla, may I
yeah.
ask a question?
Yeah.
Is Orla a common English name?
It's not my name, but it is a Celtic name that
It's a
I
Celtic
found
name.
and
Okay.
like the sound of. It's supposed to mean golden princess. It's a little flowery. It's
Uh-huh.
you know.
I think it
I've never
sounds
heard
kind of.
anybody have it. Certainly not in the States.
Okay, so you're
I,
saying that's Celtic. Okay, when I first saw I was kind of thinking it might have been Slavic, but not necessarily, huh?
I think it sounds
Well, it
kind
might
of
be that as
gothy.
well.
Kind of what?
Well, that would explain why I like it.
Yeah, I'm one
You
of
said it
I'm one
sounds
of the
what?
few people that I do
Kind of
believe.
gothy.
There you
Gothy.
go. I do believe I do know your actual name. from a bit of a generosity you had going, and I thank you for that.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
my real name.
that's the
there's a
other thing.
woman
That's the other
on
thing that knocks me
BBC.
over. What? What? What?
There's a woman on BBC whose name, first time had heard it, and I just fell in love with it. Her name is, well, I was pronouncing it wrong, as it turns out. I was pronouncing it Nuala, but it's Nuala McGovern. I believe was her name. She had a morning show on BBC that streamed on Periscope, which is where I discovered her. But I just think it's a beautiful name. I think it's very neat. There's a lot of Celtic names that we're not exposed to at all here in the States.
There's a lot we're not exposed to in the States. Are very provincial around here, very parochial here in the U.S. It's amazing how xenophobic Americans are.
Oh, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
absolutely
insane.
embarrassing. Um, Being on YouTube has just done wonders for my heart because I've come to know and befriend so many people from other shores. It's such a good thing.
I've heard
I
Aaron
was yearning for it and I didn't even realize it.
I've heard Aaron Ra talk about his father, who he mentioned once said something to the effect of, "I'm an American. I don't need to know about nothing else." Is basically the accent he attached to it,
Mm.
and yeah, it happens. I mean, not only in Arizona, it happened in Ohio, where I grew up. I was raised by Eastern Europeans, folks of Eastern European extraction. It's amazing how xenophobic they are. I mean, if it's not them, if it's not familiar with them or to them, they don't want to know about it. One of the old man's things, the MSB, the male slimy bastard. One of his
You're muting yourself off,
who me?
Diana.
Am
You're
I?
covering your mic or something.
Oh, let me have a look here and let's see
Yeah,
what's
I
going
keep
on.
No, no,
losing
no.
you too.
You're muffling it with your hands or something.
Okay. Play something. I can actually turn this up a little bit as well. I think what I'm going to have to do is play with ways to mount this microphone that are better than what I'm doing right now. I've got one of the desk stands, so
Yeah,
it's the capsule mic on a desk stand. I don't know if a boom would help, or a bang, or a pow. Okay, you can
Kerbluey.
shoot me anytime you
Or a
want.
pop.
Pow, boof.
Ooh, I watched the new Batwoman series on CW.
There's a Batwoman television series.
Yep, she's lesbian. Hooray!
Hey, I like it. Oh, it's almost reason enough for me to get television. Oh my! It's I'm not a snob, really. I'm not. Well, yes, I am, but that's beside the point. Years and years and years and years ago, I mean, I was still living in that really nice apartment in Homestead, so that was a long time ago. Um, the X had taken off. I'm there by myself. I had the DirecTV in order to have baseball extra innings, but I discovered that when baseball season was over, the television wasn't turned on at all. And I'm thinking, why do I have DirecTV if I'm not watching it? Because I can go online, I can get the baseball there. So I haven't had television since 2009, 2010, something like that. I haven't owned a television since I left that apartment in, I think it was 2012. One nice thing about it is I don't have to pay the money to have it. Because I talk about wanting to do this, that, and the other. And a lot of people are probably sitting there saying, well, Clarion, you want to go to Faithless Forum and you want a pair of shoes, and you're doing these things, and yet you're complaining about not being able to make your medical bills. But where was I going with this? The television. It's I don't have the money, and really don't think it worth it yet anyway to spend the money, even if I had it, because I'm not all that sure I'd like enough television to make it worth watching. Ow, 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 ow. Do not complain, Clarion. The hair may tangle, but you've got it.
I'm jealous you have more hair than me.
Oh no, really?
Well, yeah, because last year I told you about it before. Cancer and chemotherapy, so all my hair fell out.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, so
Now
at the moment it just about reaches my jawline, and that's because it started growing last December, and it's trying to grow back curly, and I absolutely hate it.
Oh my! So it was straight, and now it's coming back curly.
Yeah, well, a little curly, not like proper curly, but enough to make it awkward to deal with.
Oh my! Because I had the whole Shirley Temple pin curls thing going on when I was very young. 3 years old, I had the pin curls. It was white. I was a towhead. And it was always very curly. But as I got older, the hair got darker and straighter. And you talk about straight with somebody like me. I don't want to hear about that. But yeah, the hair went from white to blonde to brown. Now it's going through blonde again on the way to gray, and I wasn't able to grow my hair long until I was in my 30s. Prior to that, anytime I would let my hair grow, I would look like a white Jesse Jackson. It would just grow out, and that sort of thing.
I would just like to know why my hair won't grow any longer than it is. I never have to get a haircut because it stays the same length. It just grows to a certain point. That's it. That's all you get.
It's cool. It's to do with your genetics.
Well, I hate that.
Yeah, same here.
And you should really get it cut because the ends split. One of the stims I do when my hair is long is to split all the split ends. But you're supposed to get it cut regularly so it can grow just that little bit longer. So, yeah. or you can cut it yourself. There's a bunch of styles you can do without having to go to the hairdressers, which are fairly simple to accomplish.
There is no hairdresser on the face of this earth that I trust anymore. 10 years ago, I went to one of these. It was a rather inexpensive hairdresser, I admit. But I said, could you trim the ends? And my hair at the time was as long as it is now. When she got finished with me, it was just below my ears. It was not even hitting the collar yet. And I wanted to kill this person because it took about 6 years for the hair to grow out again. And when I was younger, it would have grown out in about 2 weeks. But as I've got older, the hair growth has really, really slowed down tremendously. And I said, okay, I'm just not getting my hair cut ever again. The last haircut I had was 2009.
That's quite a while.
So what are you going to do? It's my ends might be split, but I'm afraid to have anything done because I don't trust anybody to not hack it all off. And I look horrible with short hair. And remember, I'm trans. I need all the visual cues I can get. I may have some pictures around with the short hair. I looked horrible, icky. Blech. Yeah, I mean, the voice doesn't help. I'm voice alone. I'm misgendered constantly, and I just don't want to be misgendered for looking like a guy when I'm having the hair short. And what are you gonna do? I guess. I wish I could have. Oh man, I wish I could have Aaron Ra's hair.
Well, that stringy mess, you don't want that crap.
It's not a stringy mess. You haven't seen his hair in person, have you?
No, I think his hair is awful.
That wonderful long hair.
He does himself a disservice by having his hair look like that.
Oh boy, we've got a difference of opinion. Let's play it for what it's worth.
I'm a man with long hair is fine. A man with long hair that just sits there stringy looking, unkept, uncut, unstyled, I think is very unattractive. I don't know any men who can pull it off. I've never seen one that could pull it off. I think it's just yucky. And Aaron has a rough masculine look to his face and persona, and I think that's perfectly attractive. But I think his hair works against him. That's all.
I'm just out of curiosity. What do you think of No Illusions?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay. He has the Scathing Atheist. He's another one with the long hair.
Yeah, something keeps cutting you out.
Me. I'd like to know what the heck is going on with that. Something else I have to fix now.
I don't think it's the computer. I think it's your physical plant. Where you have the mic and how you're holding your hands in front of your face and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to screw around with that because.
Actually, I hate to say it because I love Orla deeply and dearly, but there seems to be a sound coming from Orla when that happens to you.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
I think it's that cutting in somehow.
Ah, okay.
Well, I have my earphones in, so I don't.
Yeah, Robert, I happen to like Aaron Ra. I consider him a friend.
Sometimes there's some sound coming from there, so not always.
Last I checked, I think Aaron considers me a friend, which amazes the fuck out of me. But that's beside the point. He's such a dear. He's such a sweetie. I love him. I was really, really happy to be able to go to Kentucky in July. Got to meet him in person, finally. We got to sit around talking about shit. And I'm looking forward. If I can manage it, I'd really like to be able to manage it. I'd like to be able to get to Dallas in April. We'll see how it works. Because this is Dallas. He fucking lives there. Love to see him again.
I would so love to meet Aaron Ra. It's probably never going to happen, but
he's such a sweetie. I love him dearly. I really do. He's a marshmallow. A Klingon marshmallow, but he's a marshmallow. And I will say, if you'll excuse the way it sounds, especially since he's pulled off the weight, because he had mentioned that he lost about 40 pounds in the last couple of years. He's looking pretty good. And that's a compliment when it's coming from a dyke like me.
I could stand to drop a good 50 or 60 myself.
Oh my word! I know that. Yeah, know the feeling. It's
That would put me around 200, so or hopefully a little under.
oh my. Okay, so you and I are pretty close then.
Yo,
Last I checked, I weighed in at 235.
it's been a long time since I checked. I'm guessing I'm probably in the 250, 260 range. So,
Okay.
but I'm guessing.
Back in July, I was amazed that Aaron and I weighed the same. We were both at 240.
He's kind of a tall drink of water, isn't he?
He's
Isn't he pretty tall?
he's 6 foot or 6'1". I forget which.
Oh, okay.
I think it's 6'1". Yeah, he's not as tall as he looks.
Yeah. I think he probably makes people like lower the angle of the camera so he looks bigger.
There you go. I mean, it's just like, well, I dearly love the way this goes. You know, I have to tell people that I'm older than I look. I'll take it, okay? Everybody thinks I'm 50. I ain't 50. Still doesn't get me any dates, but, what the hell. But now, wait a minute. Robert X, you say Orla has a nice voice. She sounds like 20. Orla, do you think you sound 20? I don't. And that's a compliment.
I'm 35.
Say again?
I am 35.
No, okay. That's more like it. That's, there's such a thing as, to me anyway, there's such a thing as too young. And no, I'm not talking about 15 will get you 20. I never thought I would, really say something like this, but I don't know that I would have all that much in common with somebody who's like, 25 years old. In just the same way that I don't know that I would have that much in common with somebody who's 90. Although sometimes I feel 90.
Oh, yeah, I'm halfway there.
Oh my! I remember 45. I have to wonder how many people in the in my audience, how many other people in the audience were born during the Eisenhower administration.
Just us, honey.
I do remember in kindergarten, we started the year with President Carter's picture on the wall, and finished. We probably had whatever Christmas break or whatever, and finished. I finished kindergarten with President Reagan on the wall.
Okay.
Picture. Not the actual, dude hanging there on the wall, of course.
Oh, darn it.
Which would have been much better.
I forgot to say the picture, so.
Okay, let me think about this now. Kindergarten, I would have gone into kindergarten in 1962. So, Kennedy was president. Then I was in first grade in 1962. Yeah, they kicked me out of kindergarten because I could read. So when he was shot, November '63, I would have been 6 years old, and in second grade. I don't remember getting sent home from school or anything like that, but I do remember being home with Uncle Walter on the television.
So they bumped you up a grade?
Yeah.
Is that what happened? Okay.
Yeah, in kindergarten, there was one day we had show and tell, and the kids were bringing in their little shit and everything else and showing and telling about it. I brought a book, and I read it to the kids. Um,
Really?
it wasn't Dostoevsky or anything like that. It was Huckleberry Hound builds a house, but nonetheless,
Dick and Jane discover a haystack.
there you go. I mean, the next day I was in the principal's office. I spent a week there, reading to him, to demonstrate that it wasn't a fluke. I could indeed read. I think it was determined that when I was 5 years old, I was reading at a third or a fourth grade level. Um, so they advanced me into the first grade, and the end result of that was I graduated high school at the age of 16. Um,
Yowza.
Now the unfortunate thing, well, I don't know. In one way, it might have been unfortunate. In another way, it might have been fortunate. Um, they wanted to kick me ahead twice more. I know they wanted me to skip fourth grade. Um, I forget which grade they wanted me to skip, but I would have been graduating high school at 14. There may have been some advantages to that. There may have been disadvantages to that. I don't know. I really can't make a determination of that. And I could just imagine, though, going to college at the age of 14. I might have been I might have been on a lot of score lists, or I might have been ignored. I don't know which. Probably ignored.
I
Although,
was
hmm?
I was kind of the opposite. I actually had a little difficult. Still have a little difficulty reading. Partly why I'm pretty sure I have attention deficit disorder. I was never officially diagnosed with it, but like reading is kind of difficult for me. It's hard for me to stay focused on it for very long. My mind wanders
Okay.
to other things,
Okay.
and sometimes I have to reread the same sentence, paragraph, or 3 pages. I can even read like a few pages, and then I'll stop and think, I've been thinking about something else that whole time. What the hell was I reading? And I
Okay.
remember nothing of what I was reading. But I was like, my eyes were going over the words, and the words were entering my brain and went somewhere. I don't know. So, like,
Sorry, I missed the name of the thing that you was it ADHD or dyslexia that you said?
ADD, attention
Uh,
deficit disorder. Not the hyperactive stuff. I'm pretty mellow, so.
They call him Mellow Yellow.
Although I would say I have HD ADD, high definition attention deficit disorder. I can barely pay attention, but when I do, it's unbelievably clear.
Okay, then. Now
oh no, that is common as well. Time blindness and like you can get some sensory issues with ADD as well.
I'm
Just-
light sensitive in the eyes.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's possible. Have you
and-
thought about chasing it up? Because you still could.
Yeah, and I grew up and went to school in the 80s. So in Iowa, so like nobody ever heard of ADD probably. I never heard the term, I think, until maybe high school, but certainly college.
okay then.
So like, yeah, it was like, I mean, it was known by a lot of things for decades, for centuries even. I mean, back in my day, it was actually known as hyperkinesis.
Back in
wasn't
my
called
day,
ADD.
this was what it was like, you little whippersnapper. No, I look back, and I was definitely an undiagnosed case of ADD. Definitely. Back then, they called it a behavior disorder, a behavior problem, not even a disorder. And I was just called like being being a pain in the arse, basically. And
Yeah.
but as I look back on it, yeah, definite ADD. It's not as bad as some cases I know of, but it was definitely there. And it's very slightly dyslexic. That was another one. Very, very mild case.
Yeah,
But
I don't seem to be dyslexic, although often enough when I first glance at something, it looks really bizarre and weird, and I do a double take, and I'm like, oh, that's not what I saw. And sometimes that happens with letters. They'll look kind of jumbled at first, and then I just do a double take, and it looks normal. So
yeah,
Yeah,
the
just like
thing.
for a
apparently.
split second. So it's probably just a moment I'm catching consciously where my brain is processing what I see or something, maybe.
There are things you can do about that, like getting tinted glasses, like green or blue ones, is supposed to help, or having the paper that color. So that can help. Also, if the font size is between a 14 and 16, specifically.
Yeah,
All right.
mine manifest. There was a name for it. I was watching a Bart Ehrman uh, video last night, and he mentioned the name, but it's one of those where you're reading one line and then you end up finishing the next line.
Hmm.
That happens to me quite a bit. Um, but even so, somehow I managed to read a paragraph at a time. I don't know why, but that's just the way it worked. Um, what is for you to do on that for you or something? I don't know. I'm weird. I know. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Everyone's
No,
weird.
lovely.
What was that? You cut out a bit there.
I said no. She's lovely.
well, I can be lovely and weird at the same time, right? Actually, I have
This
it.
is
I have it down. I know what I am. I am old, fat, ugly, hyper intelligent, pre-op trans, and poor. This is a combination you don't want, especially the poor part.
of if I may, I'll offer an alternative. Uh, Lovely plus weird equals exotic.
Hey
Hey Diana, why don't you at some point figure out a way to change your stream into a dating show? Maybe we could both get lucky.
I don't want to lose my entire audience. Oh, for the love of St.
I would love
Good.
to do a dating game show. It'll be called Next on Will This Asshole Get Laid?
Oh, my. And now let's have a word from our sponsor. No! Oh, my, oh, my, oh, my. Oh, my. I've been out of the loop. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know that I would know how to date anymore.
Oh, quit your whining.
No, I mean, seriously, I don't know that I would know the etiquette and everything else.
I'm not sure if I've ever been on a date.
I'm not that sure I have. Well, yes, I have. Yes, I have.
I'm sure I haven't, so.
Now, I had to think about it, but yeah, Ron took me out a couple of times, and boy, that was an amazing thing. I'm sitting there with, oh, wait a minute. You mean I'm not as much a lesbian as I thought? Oh, well.
Well, you're somewhere on the spectrum. Everyone is.
Oh,
I
my.
tend to be on pretty far hetero end, but hey, what can you do, huh? It's a condition.
Yeah, I don't know. Where does the Kinsey scale run from? What, 0 to 6 or 1 to 6 or some shit like that? If 6 is exclusively heterosexual, I think I'm about like a 5.5. All right. If 6 is exclusively homosexual, I think I'm about a 5.5.
Right.
That's what I wanted to say.
Are you saying I'm a 0?
Maybe you're a big 0. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Damn it.
I'll be right back.
I'll be back.
With an aluminum baseball bat. No.
Oh my! I hate aluminum baseball bats. They don't feel right. They don't sound right.
I prefer gravitonium, but humans haven't really discovered that technology yet.
Okay. Okay.
It's dwarf star matter it's decoupled, so it weighs practically nothing.
Oh. No,
I don't know. I'm just sci-fi techno babbling.
I like the feel of ash. I like the sound of ash. When you connect with a pitch, there's just that whack, and then you watch it go. You watch it going higher, and you watch it go out, and then the shortstop is like 6'2", so he reaches up and grabs it, and you're all shit.
Fucker.
Yep. And that's a darn thing is you can see the ball right into the shortstop's glove, and it's like, oh hell.
Well, that's when you cheat and use your telekinesis.
There you go.
You don't have to be blatant about it. Just nudge it a little at the last second.
I was a pretty good hitter in my day. Oh well.
I was never good at sports, and I pretty much hate them.
And then there's this kiddiness over here who's being a kiddiness. Did you know that is you the kiddiness? Get over here, kiddiness. Here's the kiddiness.
Hi,
You're
Sylvia.
the kitty. Yes. Oh,
That is
look
a
at
sweetheart of a kitty. Oh, look at her.
She's a good kitty. Yes, she is.
Yeah, she's getting all cuddly, and that makes me wonder if she's going to be going into heat pretty soon.
Oh, dear.
Well, actually, as it's getting cooler, she's sleeping with me more often. Because during the heat of the summer, she will not sleep in the bed with me. But now she's coming back, and pretty soon, I suppose, she'll be getting under the covers.
Right? Is that what you was gonna do?
Not very many of the kitties that have had me would get under the covers with me.
Yeah, not very many animals I've encountered really dig being anywhere under covers.
When I was in that bombed out shell of a house with no effective heat, the kitties would get under the covers with me. It was a matter of survival.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm fully dressed in a trench coat, under 5 blankets, 6 cats around me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You were not one of them because you didn't exist yet. That's an experience I do not want to repeat anytime soon. But hopefully we got some good news, because Housing and Urban Development sent me a letter just yesterday, telling me what my new rent contribution is. So with any degree of luck, I'm good for another year. Yeah, nothing has changed about nothing has changed about me, but they still raised my rent $9.
Yeah, they're gonna do that a little bit every year, pretty much.
But I did look things up, Jen. What did you say it was? 1.6%? Did we lose Jen?
No, I'm sorry, I
I
forgot to
did,
unmute.
yeah.
Oh, there you are.
1.6 what? What are we talking
Did you
about?
say the cola was 1.6%?
Yes, 1.6%, which in my case comes out to about 37 cents a day.
Oh my
Woohoo! I'm
word!
rich.
Hoorah! Time to buy
I
that condo you always wanted.
Yeah, the one in Florida on Miami Beach, right there, on the
oh
14th floor
my!
of that hotel.
I've got to look at this just for the heck of it. There we are. Let's see. That divided by, I'm going to say 30 days in a month. So if this goes right, and I hope it does, I should be good for 60 cents a day. It amazes me though that you're getting that little.
Hmm.
'Cause I didn't think I was getting all that much. And if I'm not getting that much, how the hell can you live on what you're getting? I suppose the answer to that question is you can't, right?
Hmm. Are you muted, Jen? Or I don't see a mute symbol.
I don't.
No, I'm not muted. I'm
Okay.
listening.
No, she's just working out how to kill me because I'm receiving that largesse, right? I am on
No,
Social
I'm just a
Security
little.
as
I'm
well.
just trying to catch up from when I was muted, so I'm just listening and being attentive.
Oh my, yeah, I've been on Social Security disability for let me see now. Jesus Christ, 29 years. It's not a vacation, let me tell you.
Nope.
The ex
I
would
pretty
give me
much
shit
grew up.
about that. You know, huh, yeah, you really like your vacation, don't you? And it's like, no, it's not a vacation.
No. I'm sure there's stuff you'd like to do.
Oh man,
But
there,
I pretty much grew up on welfare myself, but ever since then I've had a job, so or I haven't. Or I was just broke and just didn't have nothing.
yeah, I'd love to do things like pay my bills.
You know.
Because I did go to school, and it was student loans. Started out when I graduated. When I graduated Pitt, I owed $17,000. Now I owe $35,000
Oof.
because it's all being the that income contingent repayment, and my repayment amount has been zero.
Mm.
So of course they capitalize the interest. They call it capitalizing the interest. There's another name for it. It used to be illegal. It's called compound interest on a loan.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Because
That sounds familiar.
they charge you the interest and then they turn it into capital, and now you're paying interest on that interest. So what I'm going to have to do eventually is work out a way to get that loan discharged or forgiven or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Luciano is working toward, I think it's a master's. I think he wants a PhD. I don't know if he's a PhD candidate now or not. I haven't talked to him in a while. I have to have him back on the show. He's one of my favorite recurring guests. Oh my, oh my, oh my! Because anytime there's anything political that I want to talk about, Luciano's my go-to.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not the one
Oh,
who knows anything about politics.
oh, and that dude seems to know his shit. He really researches stuff. I'm too lazy to do a lot of that. I really need to do it a lot more, though.
Yes, Smitty, absolutely. He is a rather pleasant person indeed. Um, I know he wants
Yes,
to.
very nice.
If he does run for an office, in, and I happen to be in that jurisdiction, I would definitely vote for him. Definitely.
Oh, absolutely. No, no doubt about that. He'd be the one politician and I ever trusted.
Although I don't know that I would be in his jurisdiction because I'm trying to remember. Is he in North Carolina now? Is he back there?
I have no idea.
That's If he's in North Carolina, that's one place I'm not going near.
Mm. But he should totally run for president when he gets old enough.
There you go.
The moment gets old enough, like on his, what is it, 35 you have to be president?
Yeah, if
So
memory
like on his
serves
30,
me, you have to be
like
30.
on his 35th birthday, he should do it.
Memory serves, you have to be 35 on the day you're inaugurated.
Cool, so he can start campaigning when he's like 32, 30.
There you
Who are
go.
you referring to?
Luciano.
No, I
Luciano.
want you to go to sleep.
Or Luciano.
Oh,
Keep
Yeah.
talking and I'll close the door.
Uh-oh.
Move beef. Move beef.
Sorry. I'm talking to my daughter because I forgot to mute it. Because chatting and
Now, I had actually thought
instead of going to sleep. And
Oh
one of
my.
the that
did you know that?
No.
okay, there's
Oh, I'm sorry, Orla.
certain things with ASB kids, and I have to be close to her or she won't go to sleep. So it's like, be quiet or I'm closing the door on you. Because I forgot to mute it. Sorry.
Did you know that in 44 states of the USA, it is legal for someone to argue that you murdered someone because you had transphobia?
Yep. I absolutely knew that.
46. I didn't realize it was that many states. 46 states.
Yeah, the transpanic defense, which is, a real fucking piece of shit. I mean, if you're gonna do that, then could I argue that I could kill somebody that when I discovered they were Catholic? Catholic panic? Can I do that? I mean, for Christ's sake.
Ay, caramba. I don't understand what these people think the harm is.
Well,
In a person being them,
oh, AIG just ran their go-to anti-trans article again yesterday. The one about wishing away God's design, that piece of shit. So I gave them my go-to answer again, and I asked, what is this? Are you guys more afraid that you would be attracted to someone like me or be someone like me?
I think both.
Because I have to wonder, the vehemently anti-trans folks, the guys especially, how many of them have stacks and stacks of she-male porn in their closets? You know.
Probably. Probably a good number of them.
Yeah, but those are all
Hypocrites.
pre-op girls with big hunkin' penises that get hard because they're not on hormones either.
Yeah, and that's their fantasy. That's that's what they want, and maybe some of them that's what they think we are. I
That's
can
exactly
assure
what they
you
think
that
we
ain't
are.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yep,
people
that
who
is
will
true.
not date a pre-op trans woman because she's a pre-op trans woman. How many of them know that we don't have the raging hard-ons, that we simply can't have the raging hard-ons because that shit don't work anymore. What are you gonna do?
And by the way, here's another number. There are somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 17 million transgender people in the United States.
Okay then. Oh, Orla's gone. Darn it. What I've got to do, and I'm gonna do this really quickly. Um, most. Okay. Come on. Here we go. Let's.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. So, if you got us all together in one place, you'd have about twice the population of New York City. And, that's the most populous city in the U.S. It's a fair number of people.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere with that many transgender people. You'd never get anything done. It'd be all fashion shows.
And let's see what we've got. Okay, just going down the list here, the quick estimate would be our number would be about the combined population of New York, LA, Chicago, Houston, and Phoenix.
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
But still a comparatively small percentage of the American population.
Oh, sure. Let me look at it and make sure I've got the right number. I mean, I've got. Okay, U.S. population at the moment, or the 2018 estimate, is 327 million. So what did you say, hun? 17 million
Somewhere around there.
trans folk?
That's based on a population of 350 million people, and that we're approximately 0.5% of the population.
Ay caramba.
5 in 1,000.
And that's just the ones that have come out,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to wonder how many of us cannot come out, or are afraid to come out, or whatever you want to put it,
Oh,
for fear
well,
of
yeah.
what they'll lose.
Yeah, in America, probably less of a risk. But yeah, there are certainly. Well, no, there. Compared to other countries where it'd probably get them killed. I'm not sure what countries, but
Well, they're trying in the U.S. Let me tell you.
oh yeah,
Well, who is it? Is it Uganda that is passing or has passed or something? The kill them if they are gay legislation. So I can imagine they would want to do the same sort of thing to the transies among us.
Now, I'm sure if the NIFB got any sort of political power, it'd be devastating.
And well, okay, I've said this a number of times, and I know that
It probably wouldn't happen though. I mean,
I know there are people who don't like it when I talk this way. Don't want to hear me say any of it, but it's that sort of thing is a reason that I'm rather disappointed that I'm not dying next week. Um, because with the whole kidney thing going down, I was starting to look forward to dying. Because there was going to be a lot
you
of
know,
stuff I'd miss, a lot of stuff I wouldn't see. And unfortunately, I'm going to be around for a while.
I can't say I don't empathize with you on that in a big way.
But this fortu into is my not knowing. What am I talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, good. I don't either.
The world may never know.
As the world turns.
As the disc turns.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. I don't know. There are times I think I'd like to run, but I can't afford to run and no one wants me anyway. Primary reason is I'm too old.
Yeah. I think I'm with Smitty there. I am hopeful for the future. I do cling to hope. I do think we can make it better. We can do better. People can do better. You know that we can gives us hope. It just matters if it comes about that people do, and it's going to take longer than we think. I think.
Okay, then. I don't know. It's I forget where I was going to go with that. Well, I don't know if it's going to get all that much better in my lifetime or not. Because I mean,
Probably not in my lifetime either.
let's face it. I'm not going to live to be 110. You know, we already know this is pretty much given. But
Well, on the other hand, my state, Iowa, has legalized gay marriage, and that actually astonishes me. I thought we'd be one of the last states to do it. Iowa is redder than the devil's dick, and it actually surprised me that we did that. So that's like uncharacteristically progressive of dear old Iowa.
okay, then.
So there's a change in my life I've just seen that I never thought would happen. I think that's cause for some hope.
Yeah, let's just see if the powers that want to be have their way and get all that reversed.
Right. Of course, Iowa did legalize the purchase of fireworks.
I don't know.
um, Iowa is kind of weird. I guess you could probably call it purple. And there is a lot of talk of whatever they call it, making it a blue state, and it almost does seem possible, but I don't know.
It's
It would be nice.
kind of difficult for me to see Iowa as blue, but then again, I have a bias from years past.
And I run into a lot of Trump supporters in the town I live in, and I'm in north central Iowa. So
Oh, it's
I
amazing.
don't know, but we certainly have Democrats for sure.
It's amazing though. When I went to view the solar eclipse, I went to Carbondale, Illinois, which is almost at the confluence, if you will, of Illinois, Kentucky, Missouri, and Tennessee. I was so saddened at the number of Trump stickers I saw on motor vehicles in the motel parking lots or the hotel parking lot.
How could you not expect that? Southern Illinois.
I don't know. For some reason, I just wasn't.
That little confluence there is like the infected zit of America. You know, it's so red it'll never change.
Yeah, I don't know if whatever the reason was, I wasn't expecting it to be quite that red. But yo, my, it's horrible. But still, I'm amazed at how well I got along or got by in that neighborhood. I don't know. Maybe I'm lucky. Maybe I passed better than I ever thought I did.
Yeah, I think everybody's lucky in their own way. I define personally lucky as fortunate. So we all have our fortunate moments, and honestly, like homeless people in America, honestly, are living better than our ancestors did 100 years ago, 150 years ago, maybe. So like just living in America really is quite fortunate. Sad to say. I mean, everywhere on the planet should be at least like that,
Mm. Oh, while we're at it, I was just looking around here and I was looking at population figures, etc., etc., etc. Okay, I am in the 66th most populous city in the U.S. 2018 estimate was 301,000.
Gee, I wonder what my place of residence would be rated on that scale.
I don't know about the 250th most populous.
Oh, I think a lot lower than that.
Mine would be a lot lower. We're just under 30,000, so.
I'm just right around 900.
Oh wow!
Holy shit, man! Now I'm looking at the numbers here. My old hometown.
You got more people living on your block, Diana, than I do in my city, in my town.
Sounds about right. Now I'm looking at this over here. My old hometown is number 52. They list 2018 estimate as 383,793 people living in Cleveland. I thought it was much
Ay,
lower than
caramba.
Tell me what Milwaukee is.
We gonna find on that thing for you. Let's see now. Is
Milwaukee.
the like that? Okay. I don't. Wait, there it is. Number 31. 592,025.
When I was a little kid, the population of Milwaukee was over 650,000. White flight took a big toll on Milwaukee.
Yeah.
They all moved across the border to Waukesha County, which is now the reddest county in the state.
Just out of. Okay, here we go. This the thing for you. Is the curiousness over here? Where is that chart? I know it's around here somewhere. Here we go. Oh my. Okay. It looks like Cleveland peaked out in 1950 when the population was 914,808. I didn't realize Cleveland was that close to 1 million.
That is a whole lot of pasty white asses.
Uh-huh. And it was very white at the time.
Yeah, but they sure knew how to make a river burn.
Yeah. Not once, but twice.
I thought that happened to, what is it, Lake Erie up there by Michigan?
Erie is by Cleveland. It's one of the east-west lakes.
Okay,
It's the shallowest. It's the shallowest of the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lake Erie extends basically from Toledo to Buffalo.
Average depth, I believe, is well below 100 feet. Whereas Michigan and Superior, Superior is hugely deep. It's
about 1,000
1,000
feet deep, if I remember, isn't it?
And Lake Michigan has pockets that are, I think, around 700 feet, 500 to 700 feet.
But it was Lake Erie that caught on fire, right?
No, Cuyahoga.
It was the Cuyahoga River.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Right about at the point where it emptied into Lake Erie.
Yeah, Lake Erie is just kind of a sludge pot. It's improved greatly.
Yes, it
from what
has.
it was, but it was awful condition. Now you can pull walleyes out of that lake like crazy. 20, 30 inch walleyes.
Yeah, I caught one of the first walleye when they were starting to come back. That was in the late 70s. I haven't been able to go fishing since.
I miss fishing on Lake Michigan so much. I used to go to Port Washington and fish off the docks there. Pull in salmon, 20, 25 pound salmon all the time.
Tasty.
Huge lake trout, 20-inch lake trout and stuff. Oh, it was great. You could pull enough salmon to basically pay for your license 3 or 4 times over with the value of salmon in the store.
Yeah, maybe in the coming year, within a degree of luck, I'll, I don't know, any degree of luck, bad luck or good luck, I'm not sure. I'll make it to next year And maybe I'll just have to buy a fishing license and do what I can to do some fishing. Because I've had a rod and reel for several years, and it's just a matter of getting to a decent fishing spot and doing the fishing, and then coming back home. Yeah, it's when you don't have a motor vehicle, it's a little difficult.
I personally hate fishing. I don't have like the patience or focus for it. Once again, probably ADD.
God, I
That being
remember.
said, when we were kids, uh, our grandpa used to take me and my brother fishing, and I loved the hell out of that. But that's just because we were hanging out with grandpa. So
Mm.
that was my mother's dad. He was awesome.
Oh,
My
I know
dad's
that.
dad was probably a Nazi. I can't confirm that, but
My dad used to take me fishing a lot. He would actually um, make me play hooky from school and go fishing with him. And in his last year, when I took care of him as he died, I asked him. I said, "Dad, how come you always pulled me out of school to go fishing?" He says, "Well," he says, "you needed to learn how to be a boy."
Yeah, we see how well that
Hey,
took,
Dad, it
huh?
didn't work. uh,
yeah, all that masculine indoctrination.
well, I have two brothers, and he never did that with them.
Hmm.
Now I have some nice memories though from way back. My uncle Frank would wake me up. We would have cold anchovy pizza for breakfast, and then get in the he had a 13-foot boat. We'd get in there, drinking beer, smoking cigars. I'm 14, mind you, and fishing. Um, and occasionally we would get into a pocket of bass, and you almost didn't have to bait the hooks. You just throw that in. You'd get a hit and pull it in, and do your next
Nice.
do your next one. That was a while back, but yeah, those were the days. Okay, I'm saying, yeah, I was 14, so that would have been let's see, 1971. It was a while ago.
That was a minute or two, yeah. See, in 71, I was in the time machine, probably killing my father before I was born. So yeah, if that whole paradox, if that whole thing is true, where you kill one of your parents before you're born, causes a paradox that collapses the timeline, y'all probably shouldn't let me get in a time machine.
Okay then. Okay.
Yeah, I did not have a good father.
Kate, hi. How you doing? Yay.
Uh-oh, there goes the neighborhood.
Yep. Oh, boy, moi.
Where? Down the tubes. And don't ask me where the tubes are. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen them either, but I heard they're real.
Oh, Orla, I used to be pretty good at picking up accents. Um, not so much anymore, but I mean there were people who honestly did not know where I was from.
Why don't you bring Kate in?
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea. Oh my, what do we have here? Do that. And then, where is everything here? I know it's here. Wait, there it is. Oh, let's see. We'll go there. We will go there. Get over here, you. And then we will do that over there. If you feel like coming in, Kate, just check your DM. If you don't want to come in, that's okay too. Love to have you though. Oh my. Wait, where are we? Where are we? Let's get the correct thing up here. There you go. Yeah, okay, Robert X has never been to Bristol, and I've never been to Spain, but I kind of like the music. Oh, somebody's knocking at the door.
Hello, 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 Kate. How is you?
Oh, I am so freaking tired. How are you?
Oh, little bit this, little bit that. Good for me, good for you. What am I talking about? I don't know.
I just completed the motorcycle safety course.
Oh boy.
And it started at 7 a.m. So I'm pretty wiped.
Is the motorcycle safe?
I mean, I just got home, and actually, I was not on a motorcycle. I was on a scooter.
So wait, are you having a scooter at this point?
No, I haven't bought one yet. I'm I wanted to pass the safety course first, and then I'll go looking for a scooter.
Okay.
Don't-
But I know the breed of scooter I want, so that works.
Promise me it's not any of the cheap Chinese things.
No,
Good.
I was looking at a Honda,
Okay, good.
like a Honda Silverwing, and I'm trying to remember the name of it because I don't think it's a Honda Eclipse. It might be. I'll have to look it up. But they're both highway capable, and they have a lot of storage space. And those were the criteria. Oh, and they're automatic. Those were the criteria that I found most important to me.
Okay, then.
I would recommend the Honda Silverwing.
Yeah.
I've been riding bikes for 50 years.
Nice. Wait a minute. Now I want to know how young you are.
I'm 65, honey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
some of us are.
someone just said something stupid on the internet.
Some of us are way
That
over
never
the hill.
happens.
Go get him.
Sorry. I was recommending a movie to someone. I don't know if you've ever seen L.A. Story with Steve Martin. Great movie. I absolutely adore that movie. And I said to them, "Have you ever seen L.A. Story with Steve Martin?" And they were like, "Is that the one where he writes something backward on a bridge in Manhattan?" I'm like, "Dude, it's set in L.A. That's why they call it L.A. Story. It's nowhere near Manhattan." Some people, seriously, I don't think their mom made them wear a helmet. So, yeah. But, no, that's right. I was going to look up what that other scooter was. But they're both Hondas. So, that's why I missed the main show. And
Okay.
I'm curious now what it was about.
Oh, called Coming to Terms, and we were basically talking about the terms that are associated with the LGBT alphabet soup, that sort of thing. I learned a new term today.
Wait, say that again?
I learned a new term today. I had never before seen the term abrosexual.
Abro? What's that mean? Reflex. It's a Honda Reflex. That's what it is. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I
So
think
what do you
it.
mean?
According to Trio, it's a brand of Ace.
Okay.
A rather fluid Ace, as she was putting it. Um, okay, let me look it up just to make sure I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay,
You're gonna look it up. I'll just look it up.
abrosexual is the identity of people whose sexuality is fluid. This means that their sexual identity can change. Different people will identify with different sexualities within this, so one person may be fluid between lesbian, homosexual, and what the fuck is that?
Penny
Panaxial what? It's
Penny
a
Exile. It sounds like a really bad Star Trek villain.
yeah, absolutely. So you're looking at what I'm looking at. Yeah, another maybe
I thought it
asexual,
sounded
pansexual, bisexual.
I thought it sounded like a bowel resection.
There you go. I don't even know how to pronounce that
Um,
damn thing.
I think it
um,
sounds like a brand of toilet bowl cleaner.
Try
I don't know.
panaxial.
Andorexol.
I don't know. I'm reading the description of an abrosexual, and the first thing that pops into my head is don't try to date one because basically you're spinning the roulette wheel and you don't know what you're gonna get.
Sounds about
Like,
right. And it almost sounds like not only are you spinning the roulette wheel, but you spin the wheel now, you get one thing, and at 7 p.m., you'll get something else.
yeah, and I mean, I would worry because it can vary because it's never steady from what it said. I mean, I'm coming at this in less than 2 minutes here, so I'm mostly guessing. If it were steady, it would be a lot easier to be attracted to that person if their sexuality was steady. But because it can vary back and forth, it's like, oh yeah, I'm totally into lesbians. Then on Tuesday, ew, you know, and I'm just like, how
Yeah.
can you have a relationship like that unless it's completely asexual? Which I guess it could be because it seems to be folded into asexual based on what I'm reading. But even so, that's just like someone who could just randomly stop being attracted to you is not someone I want to be in a relationship with.
Yeah, I get you, definitely. Or the other possibility, I suppose, is if every encounter one of these folks had was casual. You know that
Hmm.
I don't know that you could get anything steady, anything. I'm trying to figure out the word for it, and I've lost it. Committed, caring, long term, that sort of shit.
Monogamous?
Maybe that too.
Yeah, it does sound like That's what I was trying to say. It sounds like monogamy is not in the cards.
Yeah, okay.
And honestly, like, as much as I do have one or two little kinks, I'm definitely monogamous. There is no doubt in my mind about that.
Right, right. I know that feeling. Um, I'm rather territorial. To
Hmm.
I know it's not. I know it's not. What's the word? I know it's not absolutely accurate. I'm picking the word for the effect.
I don't have a defensive jealous bone in my body, which is to say, if I'm with someone and someone else is like, oh, I'm not even really going to notice. You know, I mean, I'll take note of it happening, but I'm like, yeah, but I'm in a relationship here. And you're just appreciating what I've got. And neener, you don't have her either. So,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. It's like, but then again, if I see someone who's with someone where I'm like, oh my gosh, then I get a smidge jealous because I'm like, not fair, should be with me. But what you gonna do?
Right. Um, yeah, I guess when I form a pair bond, I form a pair bond.
Mm.
That whole oh, which is the cuddle hormone? Oxytocin. I'm all about oxytocin.
I don't know. The first thing that pops into my head when someone says oxy is that zit medication. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh my, oh my, oh my. It's just. Yeah, I just didn't know there was so much stuff out there, so many labels, so many terms.
Well, that's why we're doing this series of shows, because all this is new, and relative to our age, new is something in the last 20 years, and it just didn't all exist, back when we were kids.
Yep.
It just didn't.
Yeah,
Okay, I see that I forgot
it does get to
myself.
be a bit of a terminological minefield sometimes. We covered this last time. I seem to remember it was last week, where you could royally piss someone off if you get it wrong on the first try, and that stinks.
Yep. Yeah, sorry, kids, for forgetting myself and going off. My search page ended up on the broadcast, but what are you going to do? At least I wasn't looking for the really weird porn.
Man, there are some search terms you can put into Google where you're like, I didn't know I was going to get porn when I typed that in. Yeah. And then there's the ones they were going around for a while, like making other people look them up just to make them go ew. Like, I remember for a while everyone was being told, oh, hey, go look up blue waffle. And that turned out rather badly for many folks. So.
See, now I've put food coloring in waffle mix just to make them blue waffles, but I have no idea what that means.
It's grody. Let's just say
I won't ask then.
Yeah.
I am. You all hear me talk dirty and all this kind of stuff. I am incredibly conservative when it comes to sex. I'm absolutely binary. For myself, I'm only interested in women. I'm absolutely lesbian. I have no interest in men whatsoever. But kink, kind of like, okay, and I'll tell jokes about it and stuff, but I don't want to do any of that. That's kind of weird, and for me, of course, I don't care if other people do it.
Maybe I missed what binary means these days, because sometimes terms change, but everything you said after binary made it sound like that's the one thing you're not. So unless the definition of binary has changed.
Okay, well, maybe I'm using it wrong. Like I said, all this stuff is new in terms of, all the terms that I grew up with and imprinted in my brain are different today than they were. And when I say binary, I guess I'm meaning that for me, I define myself as male or female, that I'm one or the other of those. And for me, it's female, period.
Wait. That sounded like a total contradiction. Say it again.
That binary, okay, it's my impression that the word binary indicates a person who sees gender as one of two options, binary, that you're male or you're female.
Oh, that's not the way I understand it. The way I understood binary is they flip-flop between the two.
I don't think they change.
Binary.
That's gender fluid.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
See, this is why we're doing these shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I opted for agender, or what we used to call back in the day androgynous. Fuck gender. Why have one?
Right. You are right. I'm misremembering. You are totally correct. Okay. So this is me admitting I'm completely wrong on this one.
Everybody take notes.
All right.
People out there so that I can't ever admit when I'm wrong. I totally done fucked up on that one. So yeah.
Sunday, 13 October 2019,
that...
15:30 hours Eastern Standard Time. Kate admitted that she was wrong.
Well, I mean, that's one of the reasons I put all those bloopers at the end of my videos, so people know
Yeah.
that I have no shame. When I'm wrong, I'm fucking wrong. But
So-
anyway, so you were
so-
saying you're binary, lesbian, and there was something else there.
that I'm just conservative. I'm and I don't even like I won't use conservative because I hate conservatism. I'm traditional. Monogamous. Tradition means to me monogamy. Tradition means to me, um, just being in traditional love with somebody. I'm not interested in overnight sex. Want quickies and that sort of thing. If I'm going to have sex with somebody, I have to love them. I have to be wildly attracted to them.
The, the
It's
only the only one night stand I ever had, I was drunk like you wouldn't believe. I went to this place called, wait, no, actually it wasn't the Wild Rose. It was the other, there's this gay bar in Seattle that for some reason was having a lesbian night. And so I went, and this one girl just kept buying me drinks, and I was like, by the time she decided let's go get a hotel room, I was plastered. And that was the only time I've had a one night stand like ever. So
I had three one night stands before I transitioned, and each of them were specifically on both of our opinion was a one night stand purely. There was no strings attached, quite deliberately, and I felt absolutely guilty as hell at the end of each one of them. And I did three because I wanted to see if it was just, am I just weird? Am I not used to this? And everybody else seems to do it. I'm not okay. And, so I was trying to work out all that kind of stupid stuff. And then finally I realized that I didn't like it because I wasn't in love with these women, and it felt, I don't want to say dirty because everybody was nice and clean, but it didn't feel real. It felt craven. I guess I just didn't like it. I just didn't like it.
I get you.
And so I just don't think I'll ever do that again.
Hey, speaking of getting pussy, I'm considering very seriously getting one step closer to being the crazy cat lady.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm seriously thinking about getting a second cat again.
Just promise you won't mate with them.
Well,
Absolutely
hopefully everything
not.
would work out, because I know it didn't work the last time around.
Well, one thing I'm finding is that a lot of the websites like Pet Finder and all of that, one of the criteria that you can very specifically check as a box is good with other cats.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Basically, I only have, I'm going to say, 4 criteria that will lead me to wanting to get, well, maybe 5. I don't know. Basically, I need a young male kitty because like older females like Columbia, apparently them and like younger male kittens get along best. I have never in my life had an orange cat, so I want to correct that. Good with other cats, and I would prefer short hair to long hair. That's about it. Mind you, those are cats that are rather hard to find because those are the ones that are very much in demand, but I'm seriously considering it.
Okay then. They say hopefully everything will be good. I sometimes think about a feline friend for Sylvia, but I've tried twice and both times it fell through. I mean, it was the people I contacted didn't come through on it. The one guy never called back, and the one friend who said she'd had a cat, what she had instead was a stray that was coming to the door. And I was under the impression that this cat was already what's the word I'm looking for? Socialized. But no, and it ran away, and they didn't know where it went, and just kind of fell apart from there. So I don't know. At some point I may. At some point I may not. I can imagine that Sylvia would like another kitty around, just in the same way that there are times I wouldn't mind another human around.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It seems like when someone's attracted to this, it seems to be someone online more than in person. And so it feels like the dating pool's kind of small. And really, I'm not super sexual, to be perfectly honest. I can do with just snuggles and cuddlings.
I know that
And
feeling.
so that's kind of like I'm sitting here thinking, why not get that kind of companionship from non-humans, you know? And then who knows, have sort of half platonic, half romantic relationships online. I don't know. It's something that I've thought about. I have made no decisions on that, but it's something I've thought about.
Trying to think of where I was going to go with this.
Nebraska.
Yeah. There are, okay, I don't mind being alone. I hate being lonely, but I don't mind being alone. There are, in fact, things that I could not have done or could not have done as easily were there another human around. I decided back in 2015 that I was going to go view the solar eclipse. It was, well, getting the money together was its own story. Other than that, it was just easy to, book the motel, book the hotel, rent the car, and I'm gone for 10 days. I just wanted to do it, and I did it. Now with somebody else around, that would have been maybe a little bit problematic. You've got to clear it through somebody else. That sort of thing. And it's very selfish when I say that. But then there are the other times where I've described it this way before, and I don't know if anybody quite gets it. The whole thing about planning the day's activities over breakfast. There didn't it was not necessary for bedroom gymnastics before breakfast. But just that bit about you're there with your person and you're planning out shit and that you're going to do that day, and it's just a romantic sort of thing. And I'm probably idealizing it. I'm almost certainly idealizing it. But it's just the way it works, I guess.
One thing that always knocks me out is whenever people, especially like conservatives, when they talk about other sexualities, inevitably they talk about sex. Rarely do they ever bring up love.
Right.
And it's like, what would they think, I wonder, about a completely romantic relationship between two people of the same sex, but with none of the rumpy pumpy? What would they think of that? I wonder. They'd probably think it's just as disgusting, almost certainly.
Almost certainly.
But at the same time, I have to wonder, like, would they go, yeah, okay, as long as you're not bumping uglies, we're totally cool with it?
I don't know that they ever would, because they've always got to have something to complain about.
I tend to think that people who are homophobic, transphobic, the haters in general, are people who don't even think. I mean, if you put them in a corner and really question them, I would bet that these are people who do not think that fat or ugly people should be allowed to be in relationships and mate.
So that's my problem. Okay.
that these people are that self-centered in their worldview.
But
they
so
would
many
think
of them
something like
seem
that.
to be like the grounded Hindenburg, half of them. I mean, have you seen the people walking around in MAGA hats? Most of them need those little like scooter carts to get around.
That doesn't preclude their hating others who look like themselves.
So I guess some of it is self-loathing then.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think it's got more to do with hating anything that's different. If it's different, it's bad, it's scary, because you usually find that they're the same sort of people who will hate on neurological disorders or mental illness or other disabilities or people from other countries and stuff like that.
Well, you're absolutely correct. I just don't understand why people can feel that hatred and then think that they need to make it their life mission to make that hatred go away. What the fuck does it do to affect them? It does nothing to affect their life, but still they feel the need to determine what other people should feel, exist, and do, and all that. It's like, what the fuck?
There's got to be something, call it a disorder, call it whatever, where a person is not happy unless they are angry. A person is not happy unless they are hating something. Just like that Ren and Stimpy episode where Ren discovered that being angry made him happy. Maybe there are people like that. Almost certainly are, I suppose.
Well, you can become addicted.
People out there who need an enemy. Like if they're not, you look at how many times do Christians say, "Oh, we're being oppressed, and it's by those people." All the time. It doesn't matter if they're in power or not. They have to have an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not even enough just to be angry. They have to be angry at somebody. Somebody has to be the ones that are against them, and so they have to be against those people.
Yeah, and it's very significant
Christians
that you
love to
picked out
hate.
the Christians for that because they're really good at that.
Well, people can become addicted to their own emotions too, like a drug. Some people just become addicted to, usually sadness or happiness or something like that. But some people, it's might be part of why they enjoy being angry and being hateful, because they're addicted to the sensation.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
I mean, your addiction isn't about an illegal substance entering your system.
No, it's becoming dependent upon something that gives you
Yeah.
an effect. And you like that effect, and especially if you become accustomed or habituated or whatever you want to call it, just like opioids. You're taking the opioid, you get a certain feeling from it, but sooner or later you need more of the opioid to get the same feeling out of it. And there's the basis of addiction in that case. It's entirely possible. I know that.
Yeah, and the other chemicals secreted by the brain in different emotional states too. Maybe there's endorphins or something involved in like anger and sadness.
Mm-hmm.
And adrenaline, of course, with anger and rage. That can be a high too. That's it's a hormone, but it's a pretty good stimulant. Get your heart racing.
And this is
and
maybe
people can become addicted to that sensation. Adrenaline junkies.
Yeah, this is maybe where the what?
Well, I mean, if you absolutely need that kind of an emotion, take up hang gliding through rings of fire. That'll get your adrenaline going.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people do.
There are better vectors for that particular drug.
Yeah, it's. I wonder what is going on a biochemical basis when you have Christians make a career out of being persecuted. They don't seem to be. They seem to not be happy unless they feel that someone's out to get them. How is that working? What is the biochemistry of that? I'd
Well, I mean,
love to
that's
learn.
built right into the lore, though. I mean, I forget exactly what passage it is, but somewhere in the Bible, it no joke says that everyone will always be against you. And then there's the whole thing where, I mean, Jesus had all those people against him and stuff, and eventually they nailed him to planks of wood for it because they hated his religion so much. I mean, it's right in their psyche because it's right in their scripture. It's right in what they're like is what is preached to them is other people are against you.
I was I was
And
raised in the Lutheran religion, Missouri Synod, and I was told directly to my face by the preacher during our confirmation classes that there's going to come a time in your life where you have to stand up and say that you believe in God, with the risk of being killed for it.
Oh, well,
you
the
know,
Catholics were good at that.
well, I've mentioned it before. If I ever did convert to a religion, I would be a Lex Lutheran.
Okay, good. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, where everybody shaves their head and acts creepy.
And destroys Superman.
Ooh,
Exactly.
ooh, that's the worst. He's the best superhero.
Yeah, here we have the thing over here. One of them anyway. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 5:10. So they have
Fine,
that whole.
they can be blessed all they want. Just keep it at home and out of my government.
Wait. Does that mean every time they persecute someone that they are helping them ascend to heaven and then end up going to hell themselves for being an asshole?
Read the quote again.
Who's reading what quote?
Whatever you just read.
Who, me? Oh, okay.
You-
It's from the Sermon on the Mount. Blessed, well, in the New International Version, it is, "Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Let me see if we can narrow this down a little bit.
Blessed all the cheesemakers. Wow, no one's seen Life of Brian. Okay.
No, I was
I saw it, I just
clacking
didn't
away
like
over
it.
here. I've seen The Life of Brian. What is it that you were saying about it?
Well, there's that one part where the crowd is way at the back and they can't hear the Sermon on the Mount.
Oh
And someone goes,
yeah,
"Blessed
that
are the
one.
cheesemakers." Where it was, "Blessed are the peacemakers."
Yes.
Uh,
And that's by the way, that's Matthew 5:9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And of course, you know what they mean by righteousness. It's whatever they believe should be.
I always took righteousness to mean I'm better than you.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, like to hear a lot of them tell it, it's really just I'm behaving in accordance with what's expected of me by God or whatever. But really, you're right. It's I'm better than you.
Yeah. I mean that's why they invent their God like that. And every person, in my view anyway, tell me I'm an idiot if you want to. Every person invents his or her own God. Even those,
Oh, totally.
yeah, even those who are worshiping a communal God, they're worshiping their own iteration of that God.
I went
That,
after I
that's
went after
something
a preacher once. He was a born again type preacher, and I started the conversation by, I don't buy that God stuff, and so he, of course, had to save me, and we get into this discussion. It went a couple of hours, and I just completely fucked with his brain. I made it up on the spot. I just said, look, we are all God. God is every one of us. You are God. I am God. That dog is God. That tree is God. We are all God. All of us. We're
Yeah.
connected. We are one. and he just could not deal with it. It was it was so much fun.
Yeah,
Well,
as
I
a
mean,
matter.
I remember trying to explain to a street preacher about a much better religion that's so much more reliable, and I started describing its patron saint, who was actually a female paladin who went out fighting evil, but she grew up a sheep farmer's daughter, and all this stuff. And I'm actually just quoting the Deed of Paxenarian by Elizabeth Moon. It's a fantasy novel, but he was lapping it up like it really was a real religion,
Oh,
which
jeez,
I,
man.
I found so amusing. But one thing you were saying is that everyone invents their own god, and that's something I've tried to explain to people about morality, because a lot of folks seem to think there's just this, I don't know, cloud of morality out there that we all have to conform to. And I'm like, no, everyone has their own separate sense of right and wrong in their own head. And there's a lot of overlap, but we all make our own morality, and that's just all there is to it.
Yeah.
And some people cannot accept that. Morality has to be objective. It has to be certain. It has to be one size fits all, and there's no room for improv. I'm like, that's stupid.
As a matter of fact, this is I hadn't looked far enough when I was reading from Matthew 5. The author of Matthew spent quite a bit of time on this. Matthew 10, 11, 12. Yeah, okay, Matthew 5, 10 through 12. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. All this about persecution. It sounds to me like it's some sort of validation. If they don't like you, you must be doing something right.
You know, one of these days I want to take a whole bunch of the Bible and rewrite it in modern English. Because, man, getting through some of that tangled poetic grammar they love to use is just such a pain in the butt.
Well, that has been done. There are
many times.
American English translations.
I believe there's even a Cockney version.
Really?
I want one. I want to read this.
Oh, so like, you see God up there? He's me father, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love. You should start a channel where you do readings out of that. That would be great.
Well, the thing is, though, whenever I try to imitate an accent, it slowly morphs into a different nationality. It's like I might start off British, but the next thing you know, it's Scottish, then Irish, then Australian, then back to British again. I can't, maintain an accent, unfortunately.
I'm not so good at it anymore. I used to be really good at it. And it was once useful. Snag somebody's attention that way. And yes, that's that kind of attention that I'm talking about. That was mainly with the British type accents that I used to could do them pretty darn well. But those, that was then. This is now.
Someone in the chat here is saying, oh my gosh, the long list of family names in a Cockney accent. I assume you mean the begats. So-and-so begat so-and-so begat so-and-so begat so-and-so.
Could you imagine reading Chronicles in a Cockney accent?
What's the Cockney word for fucked?
Let's see, where the hell is Chronicles? 191. And let's see if I can even manage this. That's 181, 185.
Norwegian original.
Boy.
Oh, Hans.
Oh my gosh, I can't even pronounce these in English. Wow, and these are a lot of names. Holy crap. I mean, I'd try to do it, but honestly, I can't pronounce any of these. like Kenan, Mahalalel, Jared, Enoch, Methuselah. Okay, I know that one. Shem, Ham, Japheth, Gomer. Really, Gomer.
Gomer.
Japheth shagged Gomer, and Gomer shagged.
Right.
just read it and replace begat with shagged.
Oh, and Nashon begat Salma, and Salma begat Boaz, and Boaz begat Obed, and Obed begat, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But anyway, yeah.
You know, I'm looking at Chronicles 1:10 here, and Cush begot Nimrod, and he began to be mighty upon the earth. How is it that Nimrod came to be a pejorative? Or at least I've heard it used that way. You know, he's such a Nimrod, meaning, you know, he's so stupid.
Nimrod,
Yeah,
Nimrod,
I'd be
Nimrod
curious
is a
about
type
that.
of pipe lighter.
Say again.
Nimrod is a type of pipe lighter.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of shaped like a cylinder, and you pull the two ends out, and it lights in the middle. It's for a pipe.
Well,
That's a Nimrod lighter.
let's see here. Okay, so I'm looking on Urban Dictionary. It says here Nimrod, a mighty hunter and god king of Babylon and legendary founder of Mesopotamian civilization, also descendant of Noah. Oh, name popularized by Bugs Bunny, calling Elmer Fudd the hunter Nimrod. This was mocking Elmer sarcastically for being a poor hunter of wabbits.
Okay.
Nothing to do with foolishness or stupidity outside of those who misinterpreted the quote from Looney Tunes. And they misspelled Looney Tunes. There's an E in there, you jokers. Okay, so apparently Nimrod was a mighty hunter, and it was just sort of sarcasm calling Elmer Fudd the hunter that. Got it. Huh. All right.
Okay, then.
Groovy.
Thank you, Internet. I never would have thought that would have originated with Bugs Bunny. I would have thought Bugs Bunny got it from somewhere else. Oh well. Now
Bugs
I
Bunny
wonder where
invented
Chowderhead
cross-threading.
came from.
Do a search on Nimrod lighter.
Nimrod lighter as opposed to those Nimrod heaviers.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Ah, that's loud. Sorry, I was looking at a
that's a
YouTube
Nimrod
video
lighter.
about it. Okay. Weird. It looks like a bolt and screw. If I'm looking at the right one.
Yeah, that's and it lights in the middle,
Okay.
and that's just the Nimrod pipe lighter.
Huh. I mean, I guess I can see the advantages, but still.
Okay.
Because like with Zippo, you might accidentally burn your thumb when you tilt it to go into the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I had one of those, and for whatever reason, I did not know it was called a Nimrod. Oh. Yeah, because I used to smoke a pipe, so of course I would use something like that instead of a Zippo, because as you say, Kate, you could get yourself toasted easily that way.
Is Nimrod a brand name, or is it the actual name of the device?
It was a brand name to my best of my knowledge.
Yeah.
So, like, did someone else market the same thing under a different name, kind of the way we have Kleenex that isn't made by Kleenex?
I don't know. I know that I have run into knockoffs of a Nimrod. They didn't work as well. They didn't feel right. They didn't operate the same. But I didn't know any names associated with them.
Gotcha. Well, they say you learn something new every day. I think that's bullshit, but today I've learned a lot.
Well, you average it out. See, then just one thing per day. You learn 7 things. You're covered for the week. It can be a dummy.
Here you go. Now I've said I don't know if I'll get ever proven wrong, but if there comes a day when there is nothing to learn, then it's time to cash my chips in.
I'm pretty sure that I will not live long enough to learn everything I want to learn.
Right. And that's a very good thing.
No, it's not. It sucks.
What? Okay, now maybe there's a little bit of a difference between you and me. I like the activity, the action of learning. Learning
I
for
like
its own
Sure,
sake is a
but what,
wonderful thing as far as I'm concerned.
I
well,
like the action of not knowing.
I guess what I'm saying is that if I learn absolutely everything I want to learn, then maybe it's time to check out. But I'm pretty darn sure that, assuming I ever do, when I die, I will do it having missed out on things that I would really like to have known.
Okay, I see where you're coming from when you say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess, okay, in the way I'm looking at it, it's inevitable. Um, I will say it the way it was originally. You know, physics is inexhaustible. Okay, and if physics is inexhaustible, everything is really. You know, there's no learning everything. Um, and as I say, that means that the learning, to me, it means the learning never stops. There's always something new. And as you say, though, there is that disappointment where I never did figure this out. Um,
Well, the thing I have noticed in life is that the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know, and I see that to be true in all the sciences that I pay attention to. I mean, when they finished the human genome, one of their big statements was, now we have it all recorded. Now we have to understand what the hell it means. And even as they get to know that, they realize that there's a whole lot more about what it means that we don't understand. What it means. That it's an unending spiral in deeper and deeper into knowledge, and that it never ends. I mean, ultimately, it's gonna all come down to what a fucking electron is doing or a proton is doing, and why do they do that, and build up from that, and I suspect even when we learn all of that, we're going to find out that there's some subparticle within a proton that's doing something. It's impossible to know, and we never will know everything ever. It's just not possible.
I don't know if like everyone's seeing what I just posted up here. Deep dark fears. I feel like I'll die of old age someday, and right after I'm gone, something amazing will be invented, and I'll totally miss out.
That's a
When
guarantee.
I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, someone read my freaking mind.
But it's a guarantee.
Well, I mean, that's the thing though, is like, I think part of it is that something amazing that I really care about will be invented. I mean, in the last panel, everyone's flying around on jetpacks. You know, I mean, I could totally be okay to miss out if someone makes the most amazing coffee maker that will ever be made. But if someone invents a freaking starship the day after I die, well, I won't be around to be pissed off, but I'd be pissed. You know what I mean?
But it's guaranteed to happen. I mean, not the day after, but it's guaranteed to happen. I mean, how about all the people who died the day before Orville and Wilbur flew?
Yeah. Well, but I mean that's the thing though. If I were kind of scared of heights or something, I mean, might be like, oh my gosh, they invented devil spawn, kill it with fire, you know. So I mean, it has to be something that I care about for it to really fit the criteria here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I get it.
You know, and also part of it is like it has to happen the day after I croak. You know, if it happens 100 years from now that someone invents faster than light travel, I'm like, yeah, well, I was going to miss out on that anyway. You know, even with life extension technology, there's a good chance I would have missed out on interstellar travel. But if the day after I die, someone comes out with hover boots, oh, I would be pissed.
Fortunately, once you're dead, you won't know. So what the
Oh,
fuck?
yeah, but it's still a fear that I'll miss out on really cool shit like that.
That's what
So you'll
goes through
have
my
to
head.
you'll have to endeavor to make an AI copy of yourself to stick around to get all pissed off at the shit you missed out on.
Okay, now that's a conversation I've had many times about what it like the possibilities for creating either a copy of yourself or having a robot body or any of that stuff. Whenever people talk about, well, I'm just going to upload my mind into the computer, I'm like, you can't do that because your mind is generated by your brain. So you would have to somehow make your brain mechanical because otherwise, if you're just uploading yourself, what you're saying is, I have a digital soul, is what you're saying, that it can leave my body somehow. And I don't buy that. So if I was going to try to create like a I don't know, what am I trying to say? You're an artificial body for myself. The way I would think it would be best done is if you created some sort of nanobots that could go into your head and slowly, piecemeal, one by one, replace each synapse with something artificial while it maintains continuity of thought. I think that's the only way you can turn yourself into a machine brain without it being a copy through whose eyes you cannot see.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just something that I think the better option really is try to find some sort of way to restore our telomeres. You know?
Yeah, but do you want to live forever?
I don't.
I want to live a hell of a lot longer than I'm gonna get. Let's put it that way.
Of course, if they can fix the telomeres that cause disease and disability as we get older, that's a different story. But if just to be alive and continuing to age,
It's not just that
thanks.
though. You would have to find a way to increase memory as well, because after a while, your brain simply wouldn't be able to remember anything else.
Would it?
Well, don't forget now.
Your
You'll
brain
keep losing
has the
memories.
Yeah, I mean, the way I've heard it described is the art of remembering is forgetting. The brain somehow has figured out just what to forget to make memory efficient. And still, we still have a decent memory, although we've forgotten all those little nuts and bolts and details and shit.
Yeah, when you
but
sleep,
you're talking
the brain edits itself.
Because I could not tell
if
you.
you lived,
What?
if you lived for 2,000 years, but say you had a really close friend who disappeared from your life like 500 years ago, but you wanted to remember them, would your brain just cycle through that because it wasn't technically relative information anymore? So you would really need to find a way to keep hold of those memories as well.
Well, but I mean, I don't really know how like biological memory works. I know how computer memory works, but up here in the head meat, I mean, I don't know, because there are things I remember from being a toddler, right? And I remember a lot of things from being in elementary school, from being in high school, all of that stuff. And I don't know how those memories would necessarily be lost short of damage. I mean, I don't know if the human brain has a storage capacity. Like, we can only store so much memory before it starts to get lost. I don't know if there's some sort of involuntary triage that happens to our and it seems like a lot of it is based on associations, that when we see something that reminds us of something else, that something else is there again, even if we hadn't thought about it in ages. So, I mean, I don't know if what you're describing can happen, where we just start filling our brains beyond capacity and some stuff has to be let go. I don't know.
I personally, I've thought about this somewhat too. I don't think we have a limit to our memory. Um, I'm seeing a therapist right now for a variety of reasons, and she's very effective, and she has brought things back into my consciousness that I didn't know I forgot, because they weren't something that rattled around my brain on a regular basis. But once they clicked in, boom, the whole incident clicks in, every detail, and all at once. It's like I turned a page and here's a picture and captions describing everything from a given incident, and it was amazing to me. It was just absolutely amazing to me, and I realized that false memories can exist and stuff like this, and so I check myself for that, and no, these are absolutely not false memories. They didn't piece together or come out little by little. It was just all of a sudden, boom, the whole thing is in my head, all like the first time I went through it. Um, and it's just amazing to me how that can happen. And that tells me that the brain stores stuff away, but it categorizes what is essential and what not until it becomes essential,
Right.
and
So
then brings it forth.
according to the link that I will put into the chat, it they think that the human mind has the capacity for 10 to 100 terabytes worth of memory capacity.
Well, I have a 1 terabyte drive here, and it'll store the vast majority of the DVDs on my shelves, of which I have several hundred. So, I think that's a fair bit of data.
Yeah, but there's a limit, is my point.
Well, but I mean, if there's a limit, what happens? What starts happening? I mean, because I don't really have the ability to just say, okay, this memory, gone, delete. I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. I mean, if we could do that, I could get rid of those songs that get stuck in my head all freaking day. But we don't seem to be able to do that. So how does the brain, and I'm using this word even though I don't like it, decide what to get rid of?
My thought about it is it's probably more random than anything else. And the other thing is, it may have something to do with the relative importance at the time that the memory is, let's, for lack of a better word, stored. Um, I don't know how well this fits in, but I'll give it a try. I remember a dream that I had when I was about a year and a half old. I do not remember what I had for breakfast that morning. And whether it was random as to what I remembered or what I did not remember, or somehow significant, because the dream made a definite impression on me. It was a face hovering above the crib in which I was sleeping. That face was the face from a picture of the MSB from when he had graduated naval basic training. So that definitely made it. I knew the import, the impact it had on me at the time. Maybe that's why I remember it, 60 years later. Whereas breakfast was, it's just okay. Food, hungry, I'll eat. I don't know.
Okay, I am so freaking tired and very hungry, so I'm gonna take off. This was fun, and I'll catch you like the plague.
Well, thanks for coming by, Kate. Seriously, I always love having you around, and yay.
I'll see you later.
Okay,
Later, Kate.
take care, sweetness.
Bye bye.
Oh my. And okay, here we are. Yay.
I wonder about why we remember certain things. I have a mutual experience with my father. I was third grade. I was walking home from school. I was on the intersection of 83rd and Beecher in West Dallas, Wisconsin. It was spring, and I walked by this apartment building, and on the screen that was over one of the basement windows, which were there because of the mud floods, No, there was a tiger swallowtail butterfly that I had never seen one before. And I'm sorry, a mourning cloak butterfly that I had never seen before. And I went up to it, and it was just resting there. And I'm a stupid kid, so I picked the thing up because I wanted to have it. And as I picked it up and I turned around, there's my father in his work truck, tooting his horn, waving at me to come to take me home. He just happened to be passing by and saw me.
So
I remember it vividly, every instant of that. And he has had zero recollection of it whatsoever. So why did I remember it, and why didn't he? And I'm not expecting an answer. But
Oh, right. It's a question
an interesting-
rhetorical.
Okay, this apparently meant a lot more to me than it did to him. Is what I come up with in terms of how memory functions and that sort of stuff, and so therefore it imprinted and stays with me to this day. But why? It's just like, oh, okay. But then again, my father also didn't remember beating me with a belt, so.
Okay, then. Yeah, I mean, I can understand the significance factor. I mean, I remember quite a bit from the night of July 20th, 1969, but that was a very significant day to me.
Robert X. Miss Hamlin wore a white blouse with puffy short sleeves and a plaid skirt. That was my first day of kindergarten.
Oh my, was that a uniform?
Nope. Nope, that's just what she was wearing.
Okay, then.
Miss Catherine Hamlin.
I cannot as much as remember the name of my kindergarten teacher.
My teacher was Miss Hamlin kindergarten, Miss Carroll first grade, Miss Kraft second grade, Mrs. Fulton third grade, Miss Lord, aka Prune Face, fourth grade, Miss Stacy fifth grade, sixth grade Mr. Ebert, seventh grade homeroom teacher was Mr. Shepik, and he was my homeroom teacher through ninth grade, and then my high school homeroom teacher was Mr. Melcher. And I can see each other's faces clearly. Now, why do I remember that and you don't?
every brain is unique, and
yeah.
every experience is different, and different people have different structures, and some might have certain disorders. It's all very.
Oh my.
Individual.
Okay. So
Yeah.
there goes the entire day. There goes the entire neighborhood. Doorknob head is here.
Oh dear.
Hi, sweetness.
Say something bizarre so you know it's you.
Oh my. Yeah, I have some very clear, very detailed memories of certain of my teachers, but of course they held significant places in my life. Hal Swally was the is the guy who got me interested in programming back when I was in high school. Um, and he was a whole hell of a lot of fun. He was a storyteller as well. Very, very good storyteller.
Memories, man. They're the only thing you can think back on.
Here's something weird. Apparently, when you're remembering things from the past, you are not strictly remembering the event. You are remembering the last time you remembered it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You recreate the memory every time you reference it.
It's like an old Xerox machine. You know, you copy a page, and then you copy the page you copied, and there's a degradation with each
Yep.
copy.
Yep.
That's called dot gain.
It's called which?
Dot gain. That's just a lithographic or printing term for the phenomenon of degradation of copies. It's called dot gain.
Dot gain, because it gains dots.
The clusters
Presumably.
of dots that make up imagery gets bigger, clumpier, and
Yeah.
the dot gains dimension.
Yelp. Metaphorically speaking, yeah, that's what seems to happen to memory. Memories are unreliable.
Oh, absolutely.
And I agree, but I still think that that's different person to person. I mean, how do you take a person like Mary Lou Henner, who has a didactic memory, who can
Yeah.
go back to any day, any moment, and recall it 100%, and it can be proven through information that's written down or photographed or whatever that it's there and it's legitimate and scary
Yep.
as hell.
And then let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go to the other extreme, to the people that Oliver Sacks has described, who have no long-term memory, who live in the eternal present.
Exactly, or people that have experienced certain brain damages that they have completely lost their short-term memory and have to be reminded who you are standing next to them every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Damage to your hippocampus. That's what does that. Your hippocampus is the structure in your brain that transfers short-term memory to long-term memory.
I have never gone camping with a hippo.
No, you should try it. You're really missing out.
Okay.
And that's actually what happens when people black out drunk, because the alcohol affects the brain from the back to the front, and the hippocampus is kind of toward the front-ish. And when the alcohol gets that far, it temporarily knocks out the function of the hippocampus. So when you black out, you're literally living in the present and not receiving a permanent record of the events.
I'm trying
So
to
you'll
think.
literally have no memory of that for the rest of your life, and no way of recalling it.
I'm trying to think back. I can think of only one time that I've actually blacked out. They told me I had a good time. I was mixing vodka and phenobarbital that night. I have no freaking idea why I lived.
What in phenobarb?
Vodka.
Oh, yeah, that's a killer. That is a very bad combination of succinol and alcohol.
I was not very, what's the word I'm looking for? I was rather foolhardy when I was, like 19.
I preferred Quaaludes myself.
Okay then. I never had a Quaalude. Um,
Too bad they don't make them anymore.
Roar 714.
Okay, so
That was the inscription on the pill on a Quaalude.
Yep.
Roar, the company 714.
I don't know if I could.
Orla, did you have a question or? Sorry.
If I sat there long enough with paper and pencil, I could probably work out a synthesis.
Oh dear.
But my thing is like, why? Saw
I've only-
triple. Holy
I've
shit!
only
How do you
blacked
do
out
that?
once. It was really weird. It was very, very weird.
I mean, I know how you see double, but I just don't know how you see triple. Oh well then. Something for me to learn.
Orla says she got booted. I was going to ask what it's actually like to be high. Depends on the drug, Orla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
way back when.
Being, I was just gonna say, drunk on alcohol is like very different from being, high on, say, marijuana.
Yep. I remember, smoking enough marijuana, and the pattern of bricks in the wall became extremely interesting.
And the high changes over the years.
Yep.
When I first started getting high, it was just a giggle fest. It was just everything was funny, and we'd hurt our sides. We'd laugh so hard. Now it just puts me to sleep.
Yep. I was the exact same way when I first tried it. So giggly and giddy. I get that way sometimes.
I have not been decently high in years. And I really don't miss it all that much, to be honest. I mean, well, the last time I was drunk was relatively recently. Movie night aficionados will remember that one. I became a legend that evening.
I don't drink very often myself. Once every 1 to 3 years, generally.
Okay. I'll tell you that next morning, well, to me it was morning. I got out of bed. That was reason enough to not drink gin and Dr. Pepper all night again. No, I actually had the dry heaves, and God, that was not comfortable. That was the first time in a very, very, very long time that I had wanted to throw up after drinking.
Yeah, I have digestive issues, so I tend to pay a price when I drink. So I guess I pretty much go on over the years until I've pretty much forgotten how horrible it was last time. Then I go out and get drunk, and then I go to bed and I wake up and I remember exactly why I decided not to drink for the last 3 years.
Oh man,
But still, I like to do it once in a while, something different.
I don't know if you were on the panel yet when I did the gin and Dr. Pepper thing. I think you were on the panel when you wished drank himself under the table, though. I think.
Oh yeah, I was there.
Oh man, it was funny in its own way. I mean, we were concerned that he was going to make it to the next morning, but
See, I have this problem that makes me a bad person. I get angry at people when they get that far gone. It, it's like, how can you embarrass everybody, including yourself, this way? Don't do that. But and I know it's all my parental tapes running through my head and judgment and all that crap. But I try to keep it to myself because I know it's inappropriate to feel that way.
but one of the I guess I can call it a problem that I have, and it's one of the reasons that I don't get to meet anybody is I'm really not a bar person. I really don't like going to bars and drinking and that sort of bullshit. And in this town, that's the only way you meet anybody.
Drunken babies.
Say again?
Bars are filled with drunken babies.
Yeah. Um, I'm just not for, especially one of these freaking sports bars where they're all smashed out of their minds and go Steelers. You can tell I'm not a Pittsburgh Steeler fan. I've lived
Yeah, if they
here
were sober,
30
they'd be
years,
cheering
so-
for the Packers.
Say again?
Nothing.
I'm not a football fan, period. My game is baseball. Which reminds me, I should tune in because my favorite team has actually made it to the league championship series. I think that's the first
The
time
Nationals?
they have. Say again?
The Nationals?
Yes.
Fuck the Nationals.
You gotta have baseball in the nation's capital. Come on. Oh man, what was it? Game 1 against the Cardinals. I almost got a no-hitter out of it. Took the no-no into 2 outs in the 8th. Yes, I am a fan of pitching. I like pitching.
Well, kids, it's 32 minutes past my bedtime, so I should
Oh,
probably
that's right.
crash.
You work nights. That's right.
I do.
What do you do, Doc?
Night auditor at a hotel.
Ah, okay. Well, I definitely got to stay awake on that job.
No, wait a minute. When you say a night auditor, of what does this auditing consist?
Well, when the guests are sleeping, I collect their nightmares for the devil.
Oh, okay. Okay. I like it.
No, night auditor is just any old chump taught the proper button sequence to check the guests out, run the credit cards, print a bunch of reports, yada yada yada. A trained monkey could do my job.
All right then. I'll have to remember that.
Well, that part of it anyway. I mean, that's a half hour of my night. The rest of it is cleaning. So, and listening to some drunk asshole prattle on. So,
Cleaning? Oh, what? You're part of the cleaning staff.
well, I'm technically front desk, but we all the front desk staff are responsible for cleaning like the lobby area and certain things. The
Gotcha.
housekeeping deals with the rooms, of course,
Moo.
because overnight there's nothing I can do about that. But I mean, mostly I'm pretty much cleaning. I got to close the pool, and then I got to open it at 6 in the morning,
Oh man,
and
you
I
have
have
a
to
pool.
test the I have to test the chlorine and pH with this groovy little chemical test. It's actually kind of fun. Makes me feel like a chemist.
It's been a long time since I've done that. The slimy bastards had an above ground swimming pool. I was the one who maintained it. Didn't get to swim in it very often, but I'm the one who maintained it.
Delightful.
Well, I was working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week at his store at that time. Now keep in mind that I'm, like 13 years old while I'm working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Yeah, in Ohio, you could get away with anything as long as you were working the kid, your own kid that way.
hmm Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't do it with someone else's kid, but your own, yeah, fine.
Yeah, there's plenty of that all around. There's plenty of that in Iowa, you know, back in the day. They tried that with me, but I was always kind of a rebel, so I didn't comply very well. I'm not very obedient.
All I can say is I'm kind of pissed off at myself. I should have run away when I was 14, but oh well.
I think I have to get going too.
Okay.
Um, it's about 3:30 here, and I kind of
Yeah,
need
about
to
that.
get to the grocery store and see if I can find something to eat.
I know that feeling because I'll have to get some groceries. Unless I go to the local Chinese place and have dinner there, but then I'll still need groceries for tomorrow.
And it'll cost you twice as much as fixing stuff yourself.
Yep, it will. And oh man, one of these days I'm gonna have to do it again. I could make a decent General Tso's chicken. The only problem with it is I use pretty much every cooking implement in the apartment to do it, and it takes me like a day and a half to clean up after I've done it. But it's pretty good when I get through with it, if I must say it myself. So yeah, if you guys want to do the various things you want to do, we can pretty much wrap this stuff up. Any last words?
I don't think so. I've enjoyed being here,
Blunderbuss.
of course,
Well, thank
and
you.
I
I,
hope we
I
do it again and
appreciate that.
often.
So I guess I'll say that I'll extend my appreciation to everyone who is here and to everyone who is not here. I love it when you guys come by. I love it when you when you like the stuff that I'm doing here, that we're doing. It's a sort of a validating thing, and it's a really good thing. Thank you very, very many much. Very appreciative. Um, well, you're very welcome, Sheena. You're very, very welcome. Please come on back to every one of them. I mean, as long as you guys keep liking this, I'll keep doing it. You guys are what this is all about. I don't think I would do very well just doing it for my own entertainment. So thank you for being entertained. Seriously. And okay then. What I will do is that's pretty much where it goes from here. I'll say thanks a lot, troops. See you on the other side.
Bye bye.